Hey, what's going on? So I wanted to talk about Airbnb. The last Airbnb video I did got a lot of attention. I was talking about subletting Airbnb. I'm still doing it. It's been going well. Of course, there are different hiccups and things that you learn along the way. And so what I wanted to do was go over some of the questions, comments that I had on the last video, and maybe see if I can clear some things up about how you can do this. So basically the last video was about how I can long-term lease apartments and then short-term lease them. So here we go. It says, I'm confused. If you approach the owner of a property and say, I'm going to sublease this place for more money than you're going to charge for more money than you're charging me in rent, then how does it not translate in someone's mind to bypass renting to you and sublease it at a higher price themselves? Now I thought this was funny because this is like the exact kind of thing, like this mentality that, oh no, you know, it can't be done because people are going to figure it out and they'll want to do it themselves, and there's no money in that. And it's fun, so if everybody thinks like that, then nobody's going to be taking advantage of the opportunities. That's the exact point. A lot of people out there, they don't want to do the work, right? They're not in the property management business. Managing property is, I mean, it's not as hard as it used to be because of different technologies and stuff like that, but you have to know what you're doing. You have to be tech savvy, you have to have your own staff. People don't want to mess with that. A lot of property owners do not want to mess with that. And so, you know, you can get into managing places, and normally you want to charge, like, I've seen 20-30% of the net revenue if you're going to manage a place, or just, you know, rent it out long term. And also, as I explained in the video, I'm like furnishing my places. So, you know, they have a house that's completely unfurnished. They don't want to outfit it into a vacation rental. That takes knowledge, that takes time. If they did want to try to do it themselves, then they probably wouldn't do it very well. Right. Are there any special documents or forms that you use? Yeah, you know, I've been making the documents as I go along. You know, just pretty much the important thing is that when you sign the long-term lease, you want to make sure that you have, you know, stipulation that says that you are allowed to sublease. You know, it's very important. Here's another one. I would also love to know how you approach the landlord so that they don't just slam the door in your face first thing. Yeah, that's a good question. So this is one of the things that I had to wrap my head around first, you know, how to approach the landlord, because I think a lot of people are not going to like this idea. Well, I actually get, you know, gophers or brokers or whatever, people in the community to go out and find these for me, and I tell them, hey, find people, tell them that, you know, I'm going to be subleasing, and see what they say. But, you know, just remember, you know, you can kind of ask them, you know, oh, if I'm not here, is it okay if I sublease it, or, you know, can I rent it out? Or you have anything against that? You know, kind of ask questions like that. But pretty much, you know, tell them, look, I'm looking at subleasing this. I have done this in the past. I have other places that I've managed professionally, and you know, it's going to be cleaner than a normal tenant. I have it professionally cleaned 2 or 3 times a week. If anything happens and it's fixed, I need it to be in pristine, you know, perfect condition for my business. And so what that does is that takes the risk out of the equation, because what they're worried about is that people are going to come in short-term vacation, you know, like a vacation, wreck the place, and all that. But especially if it's your own furniture, there's very little that they have to worry about. So tell them that, you know, that there's a you know, insurance that you're using. Also, Airbnb has insurance, so make sure to mention that, and just take the risk out of the equation. Say anything happens, you know, it's on me. And so that's, you know, that's one way to manage to convince people to do that. How do you locate properties in Mexico? What website or app do you use to find them? Well, you need to, you know, just like any market, Craigslist, you know, you can go to, just type in, you know, long-term rental in the market that you're in, things like that. And another thing is just word of mouth, and driving around looking at for rent signs, knowing people who work in the rental industry, and talking with them there. Okay. So if you're doing it remotely, how do you know the condition of the house after the guests leave? Do you call the handyman to take a look, or did you install a watching cam? Okay, so I have a maid that goes in after each guest and gets it ready for the next one. All right, and she does an inventory, she makes sure everything's good. She fixes a lot of stuff herself, and if not, I do have a handyman that she can call, or I can call, and to take care of all that. So yeah, that's how I handle that. I do not need to be there to inspect the house. I mean, that would be impossible. I have people coming in and out of, you know, a lot of the places the same day. So all right. Again, so why doesn't the owner just cut you out? You know, it's a silly question. The owners do not want to mess around with that Airbnb. They don't have my, you know, and it's not just on Airbnb, but on the other vacation rental sites. You know, they don't want to mess with that. They don't have, a lot of people don't know even how to take pictures and set up a profile. Okay, approximately how much did it cost you up front to get your first unit going? Furniture, first rent and deposit, any home automation devices, etc. So up front, it depends on the size of it, but you know, I can do like a 2-bedroom for about $7,000. That's deposit and all the furniture and getting it all ready to go. And so, you know, if you're making $1,000 a month, which isn't out of the question, then that's a 7-month break even. So that's pretty good. Yeah, another thing I would say is that you want to do more than, you know, more than 1 year. You want to do 2, 3, you know, as long contracts as you can, you know, because you're putting this upfront cost in it. Yeah, so you know, those are some of the objections I've had on the videos. It has it's been getting a lot of views, so I guess people are very interested in this topic. You know, this is just another way that people can, you know, not only make money from hosting, but also, you know, when traveling, I love to use Airbnb. And so if you're interested in hosting or traveling, I'm going to put a link, and that will give you $40 off whatever you plan to do. And I hope that you enjoy it. And again, if you have any questions or comments, you can put them below, and I will try to get them when I can. All right, thanks, and have a good one.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold